Tonight, police have declared a major incident after two passenger trains collided at the height of the evening rush hour. One person is confirmed as having died as a result of that collision, and we are hearing tonight of a large number of injuries. The BBC has been told that 89 people have been injured in that collision, and we're told that 11 of those people are described as having very serious injuries and a further 22 as having serious injuries. It is a major and ongoing incident here tonight. Just to explain to you where we are, you may be able to see the barriers, the buses behind me, some evidence of the emergency staff still working. And the crash happened perhaps no more than half a mile down the road behind me there. That is where it happened, just before 5:15 this evening. Let me just tell you what we know so far. Emergency services called, as I say, around 5:15, and it happened south of the Elstow interchange between the A421 and the A6. The train operator Thameslink says all lines between Luton and Bedford are blocked. East Midlands Railways, which is the company that ran the two trains involved, that says all lines between London, St Pancras and Leicester are not running at all this evening. Let's have this first report tonight from Aruna Iyengar.
Two trains in collision, one running into the back of the other south of Bedford. One person died. Passengers were evacuated, bloodied and shocked. Peter Knapp was on one of the trains and filmed this.
Get off.
I was on the front carriage of the train that collided into another one, and it felt like I'd been in a bomb explosion. And when I got up, I saw people bloodied face, people's legs looked broken, and there was smoke everywhere.
Brett Byatt boarded his train at 5:10 at Bedford, travelling to St Pancras.
It was like a boom smash, and everyone that was sat down went flying into one another. And it was just like shrieks and groans of pain and shock. And there was a woman in front of me that had completely snapped her leg, and there was a woman behind her. They were sort of on top of each other. She couldn't move because of her back.
Dazed passengers staggered off the train whilst emergency helicopters arrived to take away the most injured. Others were bussed away. The collision took place on the Midlands main line, which runs between Sheffield and London St Pancras. It involved the 3:50 train from Nottingham travelling south. The second train, a Luton Airport Express, left Corby at 4:40, heading for Luton Airport Parkway. The two trains heading south on the same line collided near Elstow, just south of Bedford.
What appears to be clear from rail tracking websites is that the first train on the fast line was apparently at a stop. There are suggestions because of some kind of safety issue that had been identified. Then it appears that the southbound train from Corby very sadly ran into the back of the express train from Nottingham. All modern signalling systems are designed to make sure that this simply cannot happen.
Investigations are continuing into how this rare train collision could have happened. It's going to cause travel chaos. The lines are blocked between Luton and Bedford, and all train services out of St Pancras this evening on the East Midlands Railway line are cancelled. Aruna Iyengar, BBC News.
Well, my colleague Alex Pope is with me, a reporter with BBC East. And Alex, you have been here for many, many hours, and I know you've been able to speak to a lot of those who were well enough to get off the trains involved in this collision. Just give us a sense of what some of them were saying to you.
I think most of them were in shock, but you've got the real sense of they were relieved. But it was, a lot of them didn't know where they were. They were people that were coming from different areas, they had different accents. People dropped into a part of Bedfordshire, they had no idea where they were. But obviously they gave so much praise to the emergency services. A few confused, they didn't know where to go. but just, as I say, relieved that they were able to get off the train. But they saw people that were blooded, who were injured. We saw people with bashed up knees. Woman had lost a tooth. People with bandages. So they'd obviously been triaged on the way, but able to leave. And then they were just wanting to go home or go to their next destination.
And when you hear the two main local hospitals put out an appeal and say to members of the public, please don't come and use our emergency facilities tonight unless you really, really need to, that tells you the scale of the injuries and what those hospitals, the sort of injuries that the hospitals are expecting to receive.
Absolutely, because there were a few people that maybe needed to go to hospital or weren't too sure how they were feeling, but obviously it's best to sort of get out the area and make sure they're okay. And I mean, I saw one, it looked like a mother hugging her daughter, who had a bashed up face, you know, so relieved to just see her and to know that she was going home. But obviously a lot of that at the time when I spoke to them, they didn't know how many people had injured. We sadly at that point didn't know that one person had lost their life. So it was a real mixture of just shock and not really understanding the scale of the afternoon.
Yes. Alex, thank you so much for now. Alex Pope, who's been here for many hours covering this truly dreadful collision that happened at the height of the rush hour tonight. The Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, sending his condolences to the family of the person who is confirmed to have died in this crash and expressing his gratitude for the fast response of the emergency services as well.